A $150 sweater can wear out faster than a $40 one that used to last years ago, and that gap is exactly why trust is disappearing. Here are the 8 women's clothing brands nobody trusts anymore and why quality stopped matching the price. Number 8. Victoria's Secret. There was a time when walking into Victoria's Secret felt like stepping into something exclusive. The pink striped bags, the glossy displays, the scent at the entrance. It all created a feeling that you were buying into something elevated, not just a bra. Women who have older Victoria's Secret bras in their drawers know exactly what that means. Those pieces held their shape and lasted 2 to 3 years of regular wear. The newer versions, priced between $55 and $80, are telling a very different story. Elastic stretches out within months, cups lose shape faster, and the fabric feels noticeably thinner. The price has not come down to match any of that. The brand went through a very public reinvention, but most longtime customers were not asking for a rebrand. They were asking why the bra they bought 6 months ago already felt worn out. That quiet disappointment, purchase after purchase, is how trust disappears without a single headline. But Victoria's Secret isn't the only brand where customers started noticing the change, and the next one turned premium packaging into a full identity. Number 7. Ted Baker. Ted Baker always understood the presentation. The floral linings, the branded boxes, the tissue paper, everything whispered premium, and that experience made it easier to spend $280 on a dress or $150 on a blouse without second-guessing yourself. But packaging and actual quality are two very different things. Once customers started wearing the clothes rather than admiring them, the gap became impossible to ignore. Fabrics felt surprisingly basic for the price, stitching felt standard, and the construction was hard to tell apart from brands selling similar silhouettes at half the cost. Then came the business collapse, administration in the UK, and most US stores shutting down. When customers start asking what they are actually paying for after the packaging is gone, and the answer stops being convincing, that is when a brand loses them for good. And once the excitement fades, the price starts doing more talking than the design, and that same pattern shows up again in a very different kind of brand. Number 6. Gap. Gap did not just sell clothes, it sold reliability. Jeans that fit, hoodies that held up, white tees that survived years of washing. It was the dependable middle ground in American fashion, and that dependability kept women loyal for decades. Pull out a pair of Gap denim from 10 years ago, and most women describe it the same way. Heavier, more structured, with a weight that said it would last. Newer pieces feel thinner, knitwear stretches out faster, and pants lose their shape more quickly. That matters more for Gap than almost any other brand, because basics are the entire promise. When someone spends $58 to $70 on jeans, they are paying for years of reliable wear, not a trend. That cost per wear equation used to heavily favor Gap, and for many shoppers today it no longer does. Gap was supposed to be the safe choice, but even safety gets questioned when older pieces start feeling nothing like the new ones. Number 5. Loft. Loft built its name on being the uncomplicated answer for working women. A cardigan, some ponte pants, a simple top, all pieces you could trust to hold up through a full season without overthinking it. But gradually, the clothes started feeling different. Knits that did not bounce back, sweaters stretching out after a handful of wears, jersey tops that felt thinner than before. Women comparing older loft pieces from their closets to newer purchases were realizing the difference was real, not imagined. What made it harder to accept was that prices did not reflect the change. A cardigan that once felt like a smart, affordable work staple now costs more, without any improvement in material or finish to justify it. Behind the scenes, parent company Neo was carrying over $1 billion in debt before filing for bankruptcy in 2020, and stores across the country started closing. But customers do not process corporate restructuring. They process how a sweater feels the third time they wear it. And when dependable starts feeling inconsistent, shoppers start comparing everything, which is exactly where the next brand ran into trouble with its identity. Number 4. Banana Republic. Banana Republic started with a genuinely interesting identity, safari-inspired clothing, illustrated catalogs, and a sense of adventure woven into every piece. After Gap Inc. acquired it in 1983, it shifted toward polished office wear and accessible luxury. For a while, that positioning worked, but something quietly eroded. The complaint that comes up most is not that Banana Republic became bad, it is that it became forgettable. Sweaters pilling sooner than expected, blouses described as tissue thin, blazers with little structure underneath, and an overall product feel that has drifted uncomfortably close to Gap, even though the prices stay significantly higher. When a $70 Banana Republic blouse feels similar in fabric and finish to a $45 Gap shirt, the price gap stops making sense. Once customers start doing that math in the fitting room, the brand loses its hold on them fast. When identity fades, price stops making sense, and here, loyalty stayed longer than the quality did. Number 3. Talbots. Talbots built something most fashion brands spend years chasing: real, lasting loyalty from women who came back season after season because the brand earned it. Petite sizing that actually worked, blazers with genuine structure, knitwear that felt substantial. It was never about trends, it was about consistency, and for decades it delivered. Which is why the shift hit differently for this particular customer base. Newer pieces started feeling lighter than what women remembered, blazers without the same weight, sweaters pilling faster, and sizing that became less reliable. But the detail that says the most is this: many longtime customers began searching resale platforms specifically for older Talbots pieces, believing the vintage versions were better made than what is on shelves today. When customers go looking for an older version of your brand because they trust it more than your current product, the brand has already lost the argument. A $90 cardigan that wears out quickly simply does not hold up next to a $55 competitor piece that lasts for years. When customers start preferring old pieces over new ones, the signal is already clear. And here, even loyalty couldn't hold it together. Number 2. Ann Taylor. Ann Taylor once had a specific kind of authority, the kind that made getting dressed for work feel simple and certain. Founded in 1954, the brand built its reputation on lined wool trousers, silk blouses, and tailored blazers that made office dressing feel effortless. That reliability kept women coming back for decades, but as the company went through major ownership changes, acquired by Asina in 2015, and filing for bankruptcy in 2020, the product quietly shifted. Fully lined trousers became harder to find, silk blouses became polyester blends, and blazers lost structure and weight. A 2005 blazer weighed about 14 ounces, while today it's closer to 9, and that difference shows in how it hangs. Now priced around $120 to $150, many last just one season, turning into roughly $40 per month, while better-made alternatives last years at a lower cost. And when a brand defines an entire generation of workwear, even small changes feel huge, which is exactly why the final brand on this list hits the hardest. Number 1. J. Crew. Very few brands have ever built the kind of wardrobe-level trust that J. Crew once had. The cashmere sweaters, the tailored blazers, the crisp chinos, everything struck the exact right balance between polished and approachable. When Michelle Obama wore J. Crew publicly, it only confirmed what loyal customers already felt. This brand was worth trusting. But the clothes started changing. Older cashmere sweaters, once priced around $95, were known to last 5 years with regular wear. Newer versions, now closer to $150, are frequently described as pilling within a single season. Silk blouses gave way to polyester. Knitwear became thinner, blazers lost their structure, and even buttons and stitching began to draw complaints after just a few dry cleaning cycles. The cost per wear math now works against the brand in ways that are hard to overlook. A $150 sweater that lasts 15 wears costs around $10 per wear, while well-made alternatives at lower prices consistently last far longer. Trust didn't break overnight. It faded with every purchase that felt worse than the last. Subscribe for more, and comment the next brand.